That was weird. Didn't show the video. So, now it didn't over here, but it looks like it did online. So, that works. Yay. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Monday, right? Yeah, it's Monday. Got up a little early. Go get our taxes done. Well, get them started anyway. Just doing a little bit of sharing here. I want to talk on Tradition 6 today. It's important that we understand the traditions. Hi, Chris. Good to see you, brother. It's important that we understand the traditions because, well, if you don't, then you might miss something. Or the biggest thing, and I bring this up quite a lot, you can avoid the pitfalls of the people that went through this before us, right? So, give me a second. I will be right back. Getting a little too warm in here, so give me a second. All right. So Tradition 6 comes right after Tradition 5. We will cover Tradition 6. We're at about that 3-minute mark. Let's go ahead and do introductions and get started. Hi, Michelle. It's good to see you as always. Welcome to Daily Trudge. Happy April Fool's Day. Yep. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Maybe someday I'll come up with a different introduction. So, Tradition 6 is an AA group ought never endorse, finance, or lend the AA name to any related facility or outside enterprise, lest problems of money, property, and prestige divert us from our primary purpose. And let's just get started. Let's just get started on it. All right. The moment that we saw we had an answer for alcoholism, it was reasonable, or so it seemed at the time, for us to feel that we might have the answer to a lot of other things. All right. So, as an individual, I need to understand that I need to stay in my lane. Well, this is AA's way of staying in our own lane. Okay, divert us from our primary purpose. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics achieve sobriety. The AA groups many thought could go into business, might finance in any enterprise, whatever, in the total field of alcoholism. In fact, we felt duty-bound to throw the whole weight of AA name behind any meritorious cause. I can understand that. I can understand why we would want to do that. And in a way, I want to do that now, but cannot. Okay. Here are some of the things we dreamed. Hospitals didn't like alcoholics, so we thought we'd build a hospital chain of our own. Sounds like a good idea, huh? Sure, it's good in the thinking. Okay. People needed to be told what alcoholism was, so we'd educate the public, even rewrite school and medical textbooks. We'd gather up derelicts from Skid Row, sort out who could get well, make it possible for the rest to earn their livelihood in the kind of quarantine confinement. Maybe these places would make large sums of money to carry on other good works. We seriously thought of rewriting the laws of the land and having it declared that alcoholics are just sick people. Right? And I understand this because I want to shout it from the rooftops too. I do. I want to recover out loud very, very much. But is that what's good? Is that what's right? Hey, Amber, it's good to see you. I missed you, even though it's been away. Even though it's only been like less than 24 hours. I got a really cute video from my grandkids and my daughter yesterday. I started it, though. I sent them a video because I knew I'd get one back. But it was funny because they're like saying Happy Easter and stuff. Well, you can tell they were watching television, too. They're kind of distracted, but you're so cute. So cute. Okay. We seriously thought no more would they be jailed. Judges would parole them into our custody. We'd spill AA into the dark regions of dope addiction and criminality. We'd form groups of depressive and paranoid folks. The deeper the neurosis, the better we'd like it. It stood to reason that if alcoholism could be licked, so could any problem. You know, the thing is listen to these extremes. Just the other day, we were talking about tradition 3, where the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. So look how chintzy we were getting, and we were being selfish about it. Now we're going to this other extreme of we're going to tell everybody. Where's God in all of this? That's probably going to be the question. Where's God in all of this? God didn't make money. We did. We made money. It occurred to us that we could take what we had into the factories and cause laborers and capitalists to love each other. Wow, listen to all this stuff we can do. Our uncompromising honesty might soon clean up politics. With one arm around the shoulder of religion, the other around the shoulder of medicine, we'd resolve their differences. Having learned to live so happily, we'd show everybody else why we thought the Society of Alcoholics might prove to be the spearhead of a new spiritual advance. We might transform the world. Okay? Now, obviously, we did not get into this, but we still did transform the world. It still happened. It still happened. But it happened the way God wanted it to, not us. And guess what? It turned out even better. I bet at some point we're going to hear, and you know what? We were wrong, and it turned out even better. I bet it comes up at some point. All right. So, yes, we of AA did dream those dreams. Of course they did. How natural that was, since most alcoholics are bankrupt idealists. Yep. Nearly every one of us had wished to do great good, perform great deeds, and embody great ideals. We're all perfectionists who, failing perfection, have gone to the other extreme and settled for the bottle and the blackout. Providence through AA had brought us within reach of our highest expectations. So why shouldn't we share our life with everyone? They don't want it. Whereupon we tried AA hospitals. They all bogged down because you cannot put an AA group into business. Too many busybodies cook spoil the broth. AA groups had their fling at education. And when they began to publicly whoop up the merits of this or that brand, people became confused. Did AA fix drunks, or was it an educational project? Was AA spiritual, or was it medical? Was it a reform movement? See how it starts to get very confusing. Now we've lost our simplicity too. Hi, Patricia. What a great Monday. All my friends are here. Almost all of them. Almost all of them. In consternation, We saw ourselves getting married to all kinds of enterprises, some good and some not so good. Watching alcoholics commit willy-nilly to prisons or asylums, we began to cry, there ought to be a law. AA commenced to thump tables in legislative committee rooms and agitated for legal reform. That made good newspaper copy, but little else. We saw we'd soon be mired in politics. Even inside AA, we found it imperative to remove the AA name from clubs and 12-step houses. See? Okay. An AA group is supposed to pay its rent. Beyond that, no. Don't give to the club like that. It's the wrong move. See, our group was doing that. We're given like $1,000 every 3 months, so it would support other groups. Okay, and we said we have an idea. Why don't you guys follow the directions, build your group, and then you don't have to worry about us supporting you. They decided not to do it, so we cut them off. Sorry, but every AA group is. You have to support yourself. Okay. If you can't make rent, go meet in the fucking park. It's free. Find a church. That's what happened with me. I found a church. They don't charge me anything. Do we donate to the church? Yes, we do. We haven't figured out what, but that's what we'll do. We'll donate to the church. Okay. All right. That made good committee room. Okay. These adventures. Not much long. There's not much more to it. These adventures implanted a deep-rooted conviction that in no circumstances could we endorse any related enterprise, no matter how good. We of Alcoholics Anonymous could not be all things to all men, nor should we try. Okay? Because we're going to start getting into opinion. And we don't need that in AA. We don't argue over the state of the world in AA. We don't argue about the president, okay? When Corona came around, yeah, we talked about it a little bit, but mostly we talked about alcoholism, did we not, right? Years ago, this principle of no endorsement was put to a vital test. Some of the great distilling companies proposed to go into the field of alcohol education. It would be a good thing, they believe, for the liquor trade to show some sense of public responsibility. They want to say that liquor should be enjoyed, not misused. Hard drinkers ought to slow down, and problem drinkers, alcoholics, should not drink at all. There was, at one point, alcohol commercials at the end of them would put up the AA number. Yeah, back in the 80s and 90s. I remember that. Yeah, after an alcohol commercial, a Coors commercial or something, gambling, they do it too. They still do it. Okay. In one of their trade associations, the question arose of just how this campaign should be handled. Of course, it would make use of the resources of radio, press, and films to make their point. But what kind of person should head the job? There we go. There's the problem. There is no one. There is no one in AA that has the right to speak for AA. Okay, so how are we going to do this? It's kind of like when we brought up maybe changing some of the words in the big book. Well, who is going to redo that? See, we're run by God. Each one of us has our own higher power. It is individualized. But when that all comes together, what we have is fellowship. I can go to a meeting and your higher power can be completely different than mine, and that's okay. So what? That's the great thing. That's the great thing. They immediately thought of Alcoholics Anonymous, right? So a trade association wanted Alcoholics Anonymous to speak for them. if they could find a good public relations man in our ranks, why wouldn't he be ideal? Oh, you find a great public relations person in AA. Absolutely. We're dime a dozen in there. He certainly knows the problem. His connection with AA would be valuable because the fellowship stood in high public favor and hadn't an enemy in the world. It's not true. Thank you for clarifying that, Chris. Yeah. So we all have a right to speak for AA, but not AA as a whole. Yes. Thank you for clarifying that. That's a very good point. Because we are allowed to recover out loud. Okay. Anonymity is, when it comes to anonymity, I need to keep your anonymity. That's what we're talking about. I can't tell your story. Okay. That's why the other day when I said somebody brought up that I was bringing up first names, it doesn't matter. Some people like me, I have a unique first name. Say Dion in Colorado, pretty much everybody knows who you're talking about, right? Anonymity. So soon they spotted their man. An AA with the necessary experience straight away appeared at New York's AA headquarters asking, is there anything in our tradition that suggests I shouldn't take the job like this one? The kind of education seems good to me and is not too controversial. Do you headquarters folks see any bugs in it? Oh, yeah, they're going to. At first glance, it did look like a good thing. Then doubt crept in. Okay. Because what are the intentions? What are the intentions, man? I love you too, Chris. That's the thing. Okay. See, this person's intention is we want to look like the good guy so that people will trust us and buy more alcohol. No. That's what I see with this deal. The associate wanted to use our member's full name in all of its advertising. He was to be described both as its director of publicity and as a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. Of course, there couldn't be the slightest objection if an association hired an AA member solely because of his public relations ability and his knowledge of alcoholism. But that wasn't the whole story. For in this case, not only was an AA member to break anonymity at a public level, he was to link the name Alcoholics Anonymous to this particular educational project in the minds of millions. It would be bound to appear that AA was now backing education, liquor trade association style. The minute we saw this compromising fact for what it was, we asked the prospective publicity director how he felt about it. Great guns, he said, of course I can't take the job. The ink wouldn't be dry in the first ad before an awful shriek would go up from the dry camp. They'd be put out without lanterns looking for an honest AA to plump for their brand education. AA would land exactly in the middle of the wet-dry controversy. Half the people in this country would think we'd signed up with the dries. The other half would think we had joined the wets. What a mess. Nevertheless, we pointed out, you still have a legal right to take this job. Sure he does. I know that, he said, but this is no time for legalities. See, what are we doing? What's going on? Humility. Thank God for humility. Alcoholics Nate saved my life, and it comes first. I certainly won't be the guy to land AA in big time trouble, and this would really do it. Concerning endorsements, our friend had said it all. We saw as never before that we could not lend the AA name to any cause other than our own. I'm going to tell you, there are people that come along with flashy ideas and lots of money. And I've been approached, and my answer is always no, because if you talk about the money first with me, I'm already done with you. I just no. Now, if you come to me and say, hey, Dion, I see a need over here. Is there something we can do? I'm all on board. But if you come to me and say we can make this type of money, My thought is, how am I going to remove you from the playing field? Because we don't need you. You know, what are some of our needs? Well, I know in Colorado, we do not need any more sober livings. Okay. We do not need any more recovery coaches. What we need is treatment centers, detoxes, halfway houses. That's what we need. Okay. All right. So that is tradition 6. And you can see the dangers of how if you tie yourself, okay. So what's a way you could do that? Number 1, get rid of your last name. Or say you're part of a 12-step group. Or clarify, maybe you've screwed up. My name is Dion Miller. I'm a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. I have screwed up. You can still clear up that mistake just by saying this: I do not speak for AA. I do not speak for AA. And clarify that. Okay? There's always a way. So my best bet is to ask God for the right words. That's what I do. It's 1:11. So, all right. I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It's good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. Yeah. All right. I love you. Peace out. And have a day.